Some secrets are built into the very wall. Ayo and Kunli had been friends since campus, different in many ways, but bound by brotherhood. Ayo was careful, the older one, always calculating. Kunli was impulsive and loud, the vibe guy. After graduation, they both landed jobs and decided to find a place together. The city was chaotic, and rent prices were ridiculous, until they stumbled on number 19 Araloo Crescent. The house was massive. Colonial style, the agent, a jittery man with dark lips and shaky hands, offered them the house at a price that was almost suspiciously low. "You boys are lucky, oh," he said. "Old owners passed. Family just wants someone to stay. It's a big, strong house. Quiet neighborhood." Ayo raised an eyebrow. "Why is it so cheap?" The man smiled, teeth yellow. "My brother, take it and don't ask too many questions. You will like it." They signed the papers. The house creaked like it was whispering secrets. As they unpacked, Kunli stared at the thick pillars that supported the massive structure. They looked strange, smooth, almost round near the top with deep lines like facial features. It looked like the house had been built around something. They laughed it off. The compound had a beautiful garden that had grown wild, and the air was heavy with the scent of hibiscus and decay. But as the sun set, the house seemed to grow darker than night itself. On the first night, Ayo heard footsteps upstairs while in the kitchen. "Conle," he called, wiping sweat off his forehead. Silence, he turned off the tap. The footsteps stopped. Then scraping like nails on wood, slow, deliberate. Upstairs, Kunle was staring at the mirror in his room. Words had formed on it, written in fog, though the room was dry. Flesh for pillars. Blood for foundation. He blinked and it vanished. Suddenly, he heard chanting beneath the floorboards. Deep guttural, in a language older than time. They met in the living room, both shaken. They blamed it on tiredness and stress. "Let's just sleep," Ayo said. "Tomorrow we go find that agent." "Something's off," they agreed. That's when they heard the crying. A soft, childlike weeping coming from the backyard. Kunle, foolishly brave, went out with a flashlight. Nothing. Then he turned the beam upward and screamed. The pillars were bleeding. From the creases where the strange facial bulges were, thick red blood flowed, dripping onto the ground like rain. The faces were clearer now, twisted, screaming human heads embedded in concrete. Kunli ran back in. The door slammed shut behind him on its own. They tried calling the agent. No response. They tried leaving. The gate wouldn't open. The keys no longer fit. Their phones glitched and died one after the other. Ayo opened the cupboard and found bones, hundreds of finger bones bundled in rope. Some still had rotted flesh. The walls began to whisper. "You are inside them. You are inside the dead. They never left. They are the house." They discovered an old trapdoor behind a torn curtain. Inside was a staircase descending into blackness. Candles lit themselves along the walls as they walked down. They arrived at a crypt-like chamber. At the center stood a stone throne made entirely of skulls. Adult, child, infant. Some are still fresh. Blood pooled at the base. On the walls, carvings showed how the house was built by a cult of builders who believed in infusing structures with human sacrifice. Each pillar was a host to a living soul, cursed to hold the house for eternity. The house was alive, hungry, selective. Ayo whispered, "We need to destroy it." That's when the house laughed. Yes laughed, deep and throaty from every corner at once. The walls split open, arms reached out. Skulls began to drop from the ceiling, whispering their names. "Kunle, Ayo, you are home." They tried to set the house on fire. The matchsticks turned to ash in their hands. Gasoline turned to water. The stairs disappeared. The windows turned to solid concrete. Then Kunle disappeared. Ayo screamed, searching every room. All he found was Kunle's phone, still recording. On it, a video played. Kunle was dragged by invisible hands toward the central pillar. His face twisted in terror. He screamed, but the voice cut off halfway. Ayo watched in horror as Kunle's face began to appear in the pillar, twisted in stone, eyes still wet. He ran to the main room, punching walls, kicking doors, begging. The front door slowly creaked open. Morning light spilt in. He stepped out. The neighbors saw him leave, eyes wide, face pale, barefoot. He walked down the road and collapsed. He was taken to the hospital unresponsive. 3 days later, he whispered just one thing before dying. "The house eats memory." Kunle never left, I never left. We're all still inside. The pillars were smoother now. And at night, if you pass by, you might hear laughter, or crying or chanting. The house remembers. The house waits.